Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, July 13th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. On Monday night, the Planning Board met in the Police and Fire Community Room to continue two public hearings from the June 18th meeting. First, the developers for the Light Department building on Access Road presented to the board. Most of the discussion centered around traffic restrictions, landscaping plans, and parking requirements. After a half hour, the members of the Planning Board voted 5-0 in favor of the site plan.
Yeah, what conditions?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve site plan approval for the Norwood Light Department at 136 Access Road with the conditions of the plans show the removal of the slats from the chain link fence.
And around the generator.
And the screening, the plan will reflect the screening and the fencing around the generator and dumpster area. And I think that was it for conditions.
Need a second on that, sir?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, so we're ready to vote on these items with the conditions to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
It's a 5-0 in the affirmative.
The second agenda item of the night was a continuance of the Moore Street parking lot hearing. Just like the June 18th meeting, many members of the public showed up to have their voices heard about the parking lot plans.
Mr. Comey, Mr. Ahern,
Hearn, thank you.
I'm addressing to you,
Yep.
both of you, with all respect to. You've heard what has gone down here. Walpole don't want those trucks. Norwood don't want those trucks. We've got school problems down here. We've got bus problems, and now they want to put the skating rink down here too. So why don't you give us poor peasants a break and drop this whole thing? Huh? I mean, look at it. There's a problem down here, and you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And there's no need to it, because there's all kinds of land down off of Vanderbilt Avenue. There's all kinds of land all over Norwood you can do this. You don't need to go down into South Norwood. You don't need to. That's my say.
After hearing from more than 15 members of the public and over an hour and 15 minutes of discussion, Michael Clemmie, the Bach representative, addressed the South Norwood residents.
We do believe, Mr. Chairman, if I may answer Mr. Nemeskel, we do believe it provides a benefit. It is a use that is contemplated by the zoning that the town established for the site. It is a use that provides potential tax revenue. It is a use that supports businesses. The town is made up of businesses and residents, and we have to balance the interests of both, because without it, we really won't have a town. So we believe it is. Others disagree with us. We understand that. And ultimately, your board has the authority to decide. There are a lot of factors. We've said before, this is a moving target because people are asking us to make certain changes or to add things to the plans. We're trying to do that. We'll continue to do that. Thank you.
A decision was not reached on the Moore Street parking plans, and the board voted to continue the hearing to their next scheduled meeting on August 13th. Earlier this week, Norwood News reporter Brian Boudreau caught up with Kerry McCarthy to find out some of the programs they have at the Senior Center this summer.
Thank you, Kristen. I'm at the Norwood Senior Center right now with Senior Director Kerry McCarthy. Kerry, how are you?
I'm good, Brian. How are you?
I'm all right. A little hot out.
A little bit, yes. Yes.
So I wanted to talk to you. It's been a little while since we've been down here. You were telling me just before we went on camera about the vouchers for the taxi fare.
Yes. The taxi transfer program, which is a coupon program for the seniors in Norwood 60 and older, has always been at Town Hall in the Veterans Office. They can now purchase their taxi transfer coupons here at the Senior Center, right at the front desk. So we started that program off July 1st, and we will be continuing it here, and you will no longer be able to purchase them in the Veterans Office.
Okay, so if you need the voucher, you don't go to Veterans anymore, you come here.
Correct.
All
Or
right,
you can do the mail-in like many do.
Okay. And I know the Tuesday night suppers are going on right now, right?
Tuesday night suppers, yes. We're kicking off our first Tuesday night supper tonight. The Friends of the Council on Aging kick it off with a pizza party, and they feed for free 100 seniors. And then every Tuesday after that, till after Labor Day, myself and the bus driver, Ellen, cook dinner for 100 people every Tuesday. And this year we're going to have guest servers. Okay. So we're going to have surprise servers from the community coming in to help serve the seniors.
And what do you guys generally cook? Is it something different every week?
It's something different every week. We rotate the menu. Chicken cordon bleu, meatloaf. We serve them really nice dinner, and the charge is $5. And the senior center stays open until 8 o'clock on Tuesdays from now until after Labor Day.
Excellent. And kind of speaking of food in a roundabout kind of way, I understand you're also offering the coupons for the farmers market.
Correct. Sometime in mid-July, we will receive our vouchers for the farmers market coupons, and the seniors who are eligible will come up and they can pick up their coupons, and it's $25 again this year, and they can go use them at the local farmers market. It is income eligible, so we have a checklist, and but you can always call and see if you're eligible for the program.
Excellent. That's a great idea. I also wanted to ask you about just where it's July. There's a lot going on. What do you guys have for regular activities up here in July?
Nothing slows down here in the summer.
Oh, I know
the
that.
seniors are very active. We have a Brain Fit box lunch on July 12th, and that is going to be hosted by Brookdale of Dedham. And that is maximum 30 people actually, so you do need to sign up for that. We have Gary Highlander on July 20th. Gary always brings in a great audience, so we're looking forward to that. And we will be taking some seniors on the bus to one of the concerts on the Common on Sunday.
Okay.
Ellen volunteers her time, and we take a group of them to the concert. So if they can't normally get out on a Sunday to go see the concert, we'll take them.
Well, that's excellent, especially with the heat and everything. It's a good service that you guys offer.
And then we're having a Words and Whoopie Pies is the name of the, it's an interactive brain game. And we're going to be having that on July 23rd. And then on July 26th, we're having a drum circle with ice cream. So
Excellent.
very busy month.
And is there anything else you'd like to add in before we go?
Nope. Just as always, I encourage people 60 and older to come up and see the center. Your first exercise class is free. There's an exercise class for every level.
Okay.
So we just encourage you to come up. Or if you just want to socialize and stay cool, this is the place to be.
Excellent. Again, I thank you always for taking the time
All
to
right,
come and
thanks,
talk to us,
Brian.
and we commandeer your library.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. And Kristen, back to you.
Thank you for the update, Carrie. Stay tuned after this break to see what's going on in your local government. And later in the show, we learn all about sleep apnea from a local doctor at Norwood Hospital.
Hi, I'm Tom O'Rourke. I'm the president of the Neponset Valley Chamber of Commerce, located here in Norwood. We are a business organization of about 500 local businesses, and we believe that business can accomplish a lot more together than they can on their own. So we encourage local businesses to join us and let their voice be heard as part of the Chamber of Commerce. Our mission is to connect. We connect business to business, we connect business to the community, and we connect business to the local school systems. We work very closely with the local school systems to ensure that our future workforce is the best it can be, and that people who live in this area can work in this area and make a great life for themselves in the Neponset Valley region. So we encourage you to become a part of the Chamber. If you're not today, you can learn more about us on our website, nvcc.com, or you can always call the office at 781-769-1126. We look forward to seeing you in the Neponset Valley.
Welcome back to Norwood News. The Selectmen met on Tuesday night. Members heard a post-mortem from the 4th of July Committee and about the hazard mitigation plan from the Director of Planning and Economic Development, Paul Halkiotis. Nancy Corey from Middlesex Integrative Medicine also came with her counsel to submit an application for a license to operate a registered marijuana dispensary. A presentation on security and layout of the dispensary was given, but members hesitated to vote on giving out the license until after the Zoning Board of Appeals votes to approve the proposed location.
And I understand the need for medical marijuana, whether it's pain from cancer or nausea or anxiety. It does great things, I understand, with Parkinson's disease. So I am in support of MIM right now.
Thank you.
The only issue I have is that Zoning Board of Appeals issue. I think actually the cart's before the horse right now here tonight. And not that I'm trying to obstruct anything or slow anything down, but I think it's only proper and correct to have the Zoning Board of Appeals rule first, and then we will follow.
I think it's very appropriate that we started tonight. You had made an application, and in case there was anything that we did have questions on, that you could follow up with and bring to us in the future.
The Selectmen will meet next on July 24th. Wednesday was a busy day in town government with the Airport Commission, Community Preservation Committee, and the Trails Subcommittee all meeting. In the afternoon, the Airport Commission met and members approved the airport's manager's report and then heard from Aspire Aviation in regards to a commercial permit application. Approval was contingent on the applicant securing an office lease agreement on airport property. Aspire Aviation did secure a lease and the application was approved. Boston Executive Helicopter failed to submit a fueling plan for FY19, but members voted to approve their FBO commercial permit application pending the submission of the fueling plan. This is the second year that BEH has not presented a fueling plan.
And John, just to give you the background on that, it was approved just as it was here today, that we approved it pending the fueling plan. And at one meeting almost a year ago, their counsel, their attorney, sat right over there next to our counsel and said at the very next meeting he would have the fueling plan provided to us. And that's simply all we're waiting for is the fueling plan. So 2018 was approved. The fueling plan never got submitted by Boston Executive Helicopter, and that brings us right where we are today.
Okay, so I was just curious why there wasn't an 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a very, very, very easy solution. The flight level had it produced in a couple of months. So we're going on a couple of years now.
Members also heard from Flight Levels Council regarding their recent lot accrual and their plans on subleasing them. They decided to hold off voting to approve until the members have fully read the very detailed sublease agreements. The meeting went into executive session to discuss litigations between Norwood Memorial Airport and Boston Executive Helicopter, as well as litigations between Boston Executive Helicopter and Flight Level. Later in the day, the Community Preservation Committee met. Members spent the beginning of the meeting reviewing the needs assessment application. There was debate over whether it was necessary to include historical topics and a discussion about the edits to the application. Members agreed that it would most likely be ready to present in October and discussed outreach needed to announce the application. Committee member Helen Donahue also brought up the possible future purchase of the highly sought-after plot of land by the Neponset River.
Last night at the selectmen's meeting, Mr. Halkiotis brought it up. I asked the question about dredging Ellis Pond. He said that might be a project.
Yeah.
And if this car lot fails in South Norwood, then we definitely will be submitting an application. I believe we'll submit an application to purchase the side of the river where the parking lot was supposed to. Everybody's talking, that's what would be great for the town.
The river walk.
Whatever, kayaks, whatever.
That's good.
Members also continued a discussion about financial samples from their previous meeting. Several motions were made and approved regarding expenditure reports, and members wrapped up the meeting discussing open meeting law violations.
I want to remind and caution the committee members that if you would like to get information to other committee members, that you should do it through either Patrick or myself, but the open meeting law does not allow an individual committee member to disseminate information to other committee members or to have any back and forth exchange via email. And so the way we can get around that is working through us. We can get information to you, but you guys aren't really supposed to talk via email on anything or really disseminate any information to each other. So just as a reminder, we ask you to kind of go through us.
The committee will meet next on August 8th. Wednesday night, the Trails Subcommittee met in Room 11 of Town Hall. The committee started with old business and then went right into review the different trails in town. The committee discussed two trails in particular, the first one being the Ledgewood Trail and the next was the Power Station Trail.
When we initially went, there was a kind of a broken asphalt trail, and that was actually an old road to the Cape, he called it.
It's the old Route 1 type of
Yeah,
thing.
either old Route 1 or old University Ave, and it arced until we ended at Purgatory. I think it's Purgatory.
Brook, yes.
We couldn't cross it, we probably could, but we'd get wet. There wasn't anything natural, there is no structure to take us over, but it was clear to walk up to that point, which wasn't that far away from the building.
No, and then,
tenth of a mile at most.
if that, and then we looked across,
Yep.
where we couldn't get across, and we could see cars going down University Ave.
No,
so-
that was the other way. There was one where you first went,
Yeah.
and hit the brook, and then you went back to an intersection, and then
Yeah.
you went down that one for another 200 feet maybe.
Yeah.
And again, you
Not
reached
that far.
Purgatory, and there were, then you could see the cars at the end.
So the trail wasn't that long, even if we could cross the Purgatory Brook, unless there was an offshoot.
The meeting continues, and the committee discussed future projects and partnerships with different town departments. The next meeting for the Trail Subcommittee will be August 8th at 7 p.m. in Town Hall. On Thursday night, the Permanent Building Construction Committee met in Room 11 of Town Hall. The main agenda items covered during the meeting were an update on the Town Hall renovation project and an update on the St. Gabriel's Chapel restoration project that is taking place at the Norwood Highland Cemetery. To watch the full government meeting, tune into the NCM government channel or watch them on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break to find out what is going on around the schools this summer.
The Norwood Landfill is a composting and recycling facility that is open for the use of Norwood residents only. The facility is open every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. all year long. Composting of leaves, brush, and grass clippings are allowed, loose or in biodegradable leaf paper bags. Excess single-stream recycling items are also allowed to be disposed in the designated dumpsters. The Norwood Winter Street Compost and Recycling Facility is located at 370 Winter Street. For more information, contact the Norwood Department of Public Works or visit www.norwoodma.gov.
Welcome back. Just because school is out doesn't mean that all work has stopped around the school district. For a report on what is happening around the schools, we throw it to Director of Building and Grounds, Paul Riccardi.
So we're here at the main office at the Norwood Senior High School, and if you remember back the first weekend in January, we had below zero temperatures and very strong winds. And on a Sunday afternoon at around 4:20, we got notified that we had a water leak in the main office. And when we arrived on scene, we realized that in the break room and in the bathroom, which is behind me, the sprinkler heads froze and the sink in the bathroom froze and popped. We immediately shut down the sprinkler system, called in as many custodians and maintenance workers as we could, and within 40 minutes we had approximately 12 guys here with all the equipment, and we started the process of sucking up the water. Not only did the entire break room flood out and the bathroom, but the main office area pretty much was covered in an inch or two of water. The guys extracted all of the water. The sprinkler company showed up, replaced the heads, and we were back in business within 4 hours of our actual phone call. Actually, we left the site here at around 8:45 Sunday night. The next day, we had service company come in, Service Master, and they dropped off about 12 dehumidifiers and fans, and we ran the humidification, dehumidification, and the fans in the main office here for over 2 weeks. The staff, the secretaries and the principal and the vice principal put up with a lot of noise and some very dry space. We actually relocated the secretary staff out to the main corridor for 2 weeks. They not only came in and dehumidified, they drilled holes in the bottom of the walls to test the moisture in the sheetrock because, you know, everyone's concern was the potential of mold growth. And in half of the main office, they took the sheetrock off the wall up a foot from the ground. Because everyone responded so quickly, we were able to save the carpet and the sheetrock just where they removed from the bottom of the wall is the only sheetrock that we had to replace. It's all been put back together again. The kitchen cabinets in the break room took on some damage, but the maintenance crew for the school was able to save them and clean them up, and they went back in. We're now just in the final stage. This summer we'll do our final sanding and paint, and this room will be back to the way it was before the flood. If you remember that weekend, it was again below zero with very strong winds, and the break room and the bathroom are an outpost of the main building, so it was getting severe temperature on 3 sides of the building plus the roof. So we have to come up with a plan this winter to guard against that happening again by increasing the air temperature at night inside this space. So the other thing that's important to note is that about 95% of the work was completed by our in-house staff. And by that I mean our custodians and our maintenance staff. We had to bring in a sprinkler company, and we had to bring in Service Master for the dehumidification equipment. But other than that, all the work was done in-house by our own staff, which, you know, prevented it from being, you know, it was about a $20,000 cost. It could have been a lot higher if we had to do it with outside staff. So again, it could have been a much bigger disaster, but because of the efforts of our staff, custodians and maintenance staff, this place was pretty much back in working order within 3 weeks after the event.
Thanks, Paul. Now let's find out how the Norwood sports are doing this week.
Thanks, Kristen. Norwood's Legion baseball squared off against Medfield in a doubleheader Wednesday night. Norwood came out on top during the first game with a close 3-2 victory. Norwood put up a great fight for the second game, but ultimately lost to Medfield 13-7 in a 3-hour matchup. The next Legion games are tonight, July 13th versus Westwood, and Sunday, July 15th versus Franklin. That's all for sports. Now back to you, Kristen.
Welcome back. Recently, NCM teamed up with Norwood Hospital to give the public an update on different health tips. This week, Dr. Kurland gives us some info about sleep apnea and ways to treat it.
I'm Alan Kurland. I'm a neurologist, and I've been in practice for 24 years across the street from the hospital, and I've been affiliated with this institution for that time. I'm board certified in sleep medicine, and I've been the director of the sleep medicine department here for a number of years. A very under-recognized condition is sleep apnea. Sleep apnea could be of 2 different types: obstructive sleep apnea and central sleep apnea. Obstructive sleep apnea is when the airway collapses and while you're sleeping and blocks off the ability to breathe effectively enough. This sleep apnea causes a great deal of difficulties the next day because people feel very fatigued. They also have problems with focus and concentration. There's an increased risk of accidents, increased risk of even heart disease, and they can have other problems develop. If kids have sleep apnea, they may have a great deal of difficulties in school, focusing and concentrating. They may look like they're hyperactive. There are a number of ways of evaluating patients who have suspected sleep apnea. The 2 ways that we do it here in the Norwood Sleep Lab are what's called an in-sleep lab sleep study. The second type of study that we do is hook people up for or give them the device for a home sleep study. One of the common reasons that we see people in the sleep lab is patients are sent in by their family members for something that they have witnessed or seen. Oftentimes it's moderate to severe snoring, gasping for air when they're sleeping and arousing themselves, or excessively sleepy or waking frequently to go to the bathroom. But usually it's this snoring, and it can also be, a person that's just not functioning well. There are a number of risk factors for sleep apnea. The most common would be obesity, but also it's more common with age. It's more common to be in males. It's more common to be in different ethnic groups, specifically African American people. So sleep apnea is more common in people who have pulmonary disease and more common in people who smoke or have exposure to secondhand smoke. One of the most important things is to reduce your risk of having sleep apnea. So maintaining a healthy lifestyle is the most important, and exercising and keeping the weight down. I always tell people that it's important to have eat regular meals and get enough fluids and make sure that they're exercising. If you're smoking, it's obvious you should stop smoking. Alcohol, anything more than a few drinks, a day or a week is not healthy, and if you're drinking more than 2 drinks for male or 1 for female, you need to stop that. One of the best treatments for sleep apnea, at least to try, is to sleep on your side. Oftentimes when I look at a sleep study, I'm analyzing the sleep study to see how much of the sleep apnea or how much of the problem is related to sleeping on the back. And it seems like it's a very easy treatment for a lot of my patients, actually, just to make sure that they're side sleeping. The most important thing is, if you suspect that a family member has sleep apnea, is to let the physician know the person's primary care team so that they can order the appropriate test to determine whether or not sleep apnea is a concern.
Thanks, Dr. Curlin. You can check out our previous health updates on the Norwood Hospital website. The community has been enjoying the Norwood Rec Department pools for a couple of weeks now. The pool at Father Mack's Playground is a popular destination for residents in the northern part of town. Those closer to South Norwood can visit the Haas Pod Pool and Spray Park for younger kids. Each day, the pools are staffed with experienced lifeguards and maintenance employees to keep the pools clean and ready to use for all. Rec Department Superintendent Travis Farley keys us in on all the details you need to know to have a fun and safe summer by the Norwood pools.
Hi Norwood, this is Travis Farley. I'm the Recreation Superintendent for the town of Norwood. Today on this beautiful Wednesday day, we're at Haas Pool actually, the bigger of the 2 pools for the town of Norwood. We're here at South Norwood, and we have another pool actually in Father Mack's in northern Norwood near Westwood. So just a little bit about the information, about the pools. Obviously, the summertime, beautiful weather. We have a lot of people that are going to be using these pools. So just again, reiterating some of the fees and the schedule of the pool. Weekends, both pools are open from 12 to 7. Obviously, we see a lot of people on the weekends trying to get in here and cool off on a weekend. Weekday schedules is roughly 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock at night as well. We do offer swim lessons, just a heads up in the pool. We do try to program it as much as we can. Obviously, the 2-month period that we're open. Swim lessons are $60. It's a 2-week session. We actually have one starting next week. We're in the middle of our first session. Those are more beginning, learning how to swim. If you have any questions about swim lessons, please feel free to contact us at the Civic. We have all the information there as well. Pool pass rates, just in case you have any interest in getting a pool pass. We have $100 for a 1 adult family, $120 for a 2 adult family, and then we have day passes that are actually on sale. On the weekends, we sell them at the pools themselves. They're $6. We sell only cash or check at the pool, so make sure you bring plenty of cash or check if you're just looking to do a day pass for either pool. And that'll get you in both pools as well, only $6. We sell them at the Civic Center on weekdays, Monday through Friday. So if you are heading down to the pools on a weekday, Monday through Friday in the evening, please make sure you stop at the Civic Center before that. And that would take care of that. So if you have any questions about pool hours, or if there's any inclement weather or a thunderstorm, please feel free to contact the Civic. Follow us on Facebook. We try to, whenever the pool closes for a thunderstorm or anything like that, we try to update Facebook as much as we can, so that way you can stay in touch or want to know if the pool is open before you head down. One more thing that I forgot to add, we actually have a beautiful spray park here at Haas Pool as well. Kids have a lot of fun at it. We have 4 elements over there that spray that once you hit the activator, so the kids have a lot of fun in it. And the last piece is that parking's free, so if you are coming here, it gets a little crazy on the weekends, but there is a parking lot right next to both pools, actually, both at Haas and Father Mack's. You can definitely navigate parking, but there should be plenty up there. So thank you again. I hope everyone's enjoying the pools for the summer, and I hope everybody's having a great summer.
Thanks, Travis. It's never too late to visit the pools. Those one-day passes are a huge hit. And don't forget that sunblock, Norwood. Norwood Community Media began their summer video production workshop this week. Lights, Camera, Summer is a week-long workshop for children in grades 6 through 8. They learn everything from script writing to filming and editing. This summer, the children are producing their very own news show. With the help of their NCM staff teachers, the children went out on the town to find their own news stories. Let's go take a look at one of the stories that the kids produced.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at Father Mack covering a typical day at play camp. We also caught up with Counselor Danny Benjamin to hear his thoughts on what it's like to be a counselor. Danny Benjamin, a Father Mack's counselor of 2 years, is one of the many people who loves his job at the play camp.
I love everything about the job. I think it's great that we get to interact with the kids, and I don't think there's a better job than just ensuring these kids have a fun summer.
Although there are many positives to being a camp counselor, according to Benjamin, there are some challenges as well.
I would say the challenges that come with being a camp counselor are making sure none of the kids get bored and making sure they all get along and keeping everyone safe.
But at the end of the day, as Danny would tell you, it is all about FTK.
It's all for the kids. Just FTK. We do it for the kids. It's all worth it.
Reporting for Norwood Community Media, I'm Nico Fowler.
Great job, Nico. If you want to check out the kids' full show, tune into the NCM Town channel or search the video on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Well, that's the latest in Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend.